Welcome to the Becoming Superhuman podcast, where we interview extraordinary people to bring you the skills and strategies to overcome the impossible. And now, here's your host, Jonathan Levy.
Hey there, super friends. This is Jonathan Levy. My guest today is quite possibly one of the toughest, fiercest women on the planet. Seriously. Her name is Adi Rotem, and she holds no less than 2 world championship titles in Thai boxing, both from the WAKO and WFCA martial arts organizations. As if that weren't enough, Adi holds a 3rd-degree black belt and 7 consecutive Israeli national championship titles in mixed martial arts. She also served in the Israeli Defense Forces as a Krav Maga instructor and has more recently competed in a reality TV show in the Enfusion style of martial arts. Basically, if it's a form of martial arts, Adi has either trained in it or won a title in it. Believe it or not, Adi and I actually work out at the same gym where she coaches Thai boxing, and I've had the awesome opportunity to do some CrossFit workouts with her and witness firsthand her incredible energy, strength, and tenacity. In the interview, Adi and I talk about her incredible journey, and we start to understand her very unique mindset. One thing that was interesting to me was Adi's belief as to how and why she became a champion. As you'll see, she claims right away that she wasn't a particularly gifted athlete and didn't have any natural physical advantage. Instead, Adi shares with us that her success came predominantly from a burning desire, insane amounts of discipline, and a superhuman work ethic. When you hear Adi speak and tell her story, you'll immediately understand just how deep her determination goes. It's a very inspiring story that will help you understand just how much determination it takes to earn the title world champion. If you take away just one thing from this interview, it should be this: hard work and determination outweigh natural talent any day of the week. This episode is brought to you by the best-selling online course, Become a Super Learner. If you're like most people, you probably have a long list of books you want to read, languages you wish you knew, and skills you wish you had the time to learn. This course teaches you how to learn anything and everything faster and more effectively by teaching you not only speed reading, but also an entirely new framework for understanding, creating, and storing memories. To get an 80% off coupon and join over 25,000 satisfied students, visit jle.vi/learn. That's http://jle.vi/learn. And now, please allow me to welcome Miss Adi Rotem to the show. Adi, welcome to the show. I'm so happy to have you on today.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
My pleasure, my pleasure. So I told the audience that we've worked out together before, but I actually didn't see you this morning, so I guess you were preparing for the interview, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
So Adi, tell us a little bit about your background and your story, kind of from the first person.
Well, my story is kind of a story of Billy Elliot, but in the version of the martial arts. So my mom put me in a ballet when I was 5 years old, and the same building was martial arts, like kids with the gi, the uniform of judo and karate, and this is what I picked. And I asked for my mom, please, I want that thing. And after half an hour that I was keep on asking her to sign me in to that class, she agreed. That was 86.
1986.
Yeah,
Wow.
1986.
How long was your career as a ballerina?
Maybe 1 month.
So you knew right away. Something about martial arts just attracted you, even as a child.
Yeah, I believe I was really into it since I was 3 years old or something. Because my mom says, even in the kindergarten, I was running and past all the kids and just, I make them sit or just push them around or climb on something like it was into me.
Wow.
I just had to put all the energy out. So in the end, I pick the martial arts, but I think that the martial arts really helped me to grow in a better way.
Mm-hmm. So you started around age 5. And what happened after that? I mean, did you immediately know you wanted to be a professional? Or what was the process from this 5-year-old girl who goes to judo, I guess, a couple times a week to becoming the world champion? Fill us in. What happened in between?
Okay. I was 5 years old and actually I was really into it, and there were many kids around and some from a school that did it. And in Herzliya, that was really common. I remember myself, this is like class that I do 3 times a week or twice a week as a kid. But I grew up, and when I was a teenager, I keep on doing that. So basically I keep doing it all my life till the army. I used to participate the Israeli championship in that method. That method, by the way, called Danish survival. And the method contains judo, jiu-jitsu, and karate all together. So I used to compete, and I used to be Israeli champion in that method for 7 years in a row. Also in the ultimate weight, like there's no weight. And I was light actually. And yeah, I guess without any special effects, I was the best.
Wow. So you were competing for a long, long time, and then you got to the army. And in the army, tell us about that.
In the army, I used to be a Krav Maga instructor. Mm-hmm. I used to train soldiers. I used to work with kids and with kids that used to be in danger. That's from the army. And this is what I did till almost 2000.
Wow. So at that point, did you know you wanted to be a professional fighter, or, after the army?
Actually, no. The only thing that I was care about when I was 6, 7, maybe 8, that was my dream. To have the same story like Karate Kid 1, to have a sensei in Japan, and just to go there and to do martial arts with a special sensei. That was my dream when I was young.
Wow. So what happened after the military?
I couldn't do any Krav Maga, couldn't do any martial arts. I had enough. Just want to have a break. And I went to India to a trip after the army, and to Thailand. And then in Thailand, I fell in love in Muay Thai. So I came back to Israel. I met Avner Shalom. He was my first training for Muay Thai. And then I just started to train, and they say, hey, you're really good. Maybe you fight. I say, no, not now. It's not the time. I'm just doing my thing now. Then I got injured. I used to be a bartender, and I got injured. And I cut the wrist. That was really close to not moving my fingers anymore. So I had to put my hand in a cast, and I couldn't train. And then I started just to do shadow boxing and to try do what I like to do. And my trainer said, yeah, you can't train because you have that thing, and I want to make sure that your hand will be okay. And then I was done. But that time I said, okay, now I want to take it as far as I can.
So then you agreed to compete at that point.
And then I said, okay, let's just fight. I fight the girl in Israel. She was the best. She had 13 fights. I had none, actually, in Muay Thai. And I just win. That was a great feeling. My first fight, that was a great feeling. Like the best party I ever been to, the best excitement I ever had. That was a great feeling.
Do you think that was because of your competitive advantage in terms of having a martial arts background? Like, what did you bring from Danish survival that allowed you to miraculously win, the Israeli championship in your first fight?
Okay. First, I think I get from Dennis the fighter heart. This is something that he used to talk about all the time, and this has got into me, I believe. 1. Second, I already knew when we trained over there, we didn't get any punches to the head, except of the legs. But what I knew when to kick, how to kick, and to see situation that this is the time to hit or protect, or just being aggressive.
So a lot of the skills transfer from martial art to martial art, whatever the sport is.
Of course. Also, it's about the coordination and about the understanding.
So I'm curious because she also, she had 13 fights. She also had martial arts training. So the question is, really, what was your competitive advantage? What made you a champion versus everyone else you competed against?
Well, this is only the start, actually, because afterwards I didn't have any fight. Nobody wants to fight me. Anyway, there's not a lot of girls that doing martial arts or actually Muay Thai. Because in Israel, it sounds really hardcore. What, you're doing Muay Thai? So probably most of them go to karate because it's more gentle, no face or something like that, probably. And back then, I says, okay, I'm giving everything. I train morning, evening. I work 10 hours a day. This is what I do, but I can't develop myself. I already win from the best. What next? It's like full gas in neutral. This is a waste of time.
I like that metaphor.
So what should I do? So I went to Holland. And in Holland, what come easy in Israel, I had to work really hard to prove myself in First Gym Amsterdam. This is a very famous gym. People come from all over the world and they all want to become a fighter, but only some can make it. And I had to show them and me that I'm there because of a reason and they should pick me and to train me and to accept me as one of them, that I could go on and just fulfill my dream. And my dream back then was I want to become the best fighter I can.
So not about championship.
Not even a championship. I just wanted to become the best fighter I can.
Wow.
And I say from one fight to the other one, and from one training to the other one, I just see how I improving. And I started as a new league, then I become a C class and B class, and then become A class. A class, it's a professional fighter.
Wow, it just happened. Huh?
And it's a long, long, long way to go.
Huh.
Yeah, this is the way it become it. But from fight to fight, you see how you get closer, and then people ask you to fight them and fight for the titles and fight for the championship. And people ask me to fight them in New Zealand, for example. So sometimes I had to fly to New Zealand to fight, and sometimes I had to fly to Italy to fight for the world champion. And from one fight to another one, people start to know you in the scene and they ask for you and they know you good. Mm-hmm. But you need to work hard to go where you want to be. And then the doors get open and then you want to be a champion because you see you're on the track.
Mm-hmm. So you said you needed to show them, that you were there, that you were committed, and that you were worth the effort that they were going to invest in you. And the other question that I wanted to come back to is, your competitive advantage. So I guess those are the same question. How do you show them that you're champion material, and what makes you champion material?
Okay. First, it's the heart. A fighter can't be a fighter with no heart. You're not afraid. You are in to the target. You are commit for your training. You never miss training. Morning and evening, doesn't matter how you go there, by train, by bike, half an hour, 1 hour, where do you live, doesn't matter. You need to be at the gym twice a day. And also, you need to improve because there's people, the people that think they know and then they just stay the same place. I came there with open mind. And it's very important just to keep learning, to understand your mistakes. For example, if I go back home with a black eye, what's happened a lot, of course, this is not a trophy. It's a stupid thing to go back with a black eye. That means that you didn't cover your face good. Or I used to go back from training and limp on my way back. And I say, okay, what went wrong? What I did? Why? And all the time I used to analyze my weaknesses, and because I wanted to get better. Mm-hmm. And again, if you're doing mistake, it's not like a mistake. It's you get hit, and you get hit hard.
Yeah, they don't pull punches. It's probably you're training full force.
Yes, especially in Holland, especially in First Gym. They are really aggressive. If you did a mistake, it's gonna cost you.
Everyone's gonna see it on your face tomorrow.
Exactly.
Wow.
And also, you need the moments of luck.
So luck does play a part.
Yeah, totally.
Interesting to hear you say that. Can you determine who is and is not a champion before they go to the championship?
You need to have certain stuff, like we said before, but this is actually the right moment to tell you about one of my trainers, Avner. Avner used to say, you are going to be a champion. I trained few champion before, and you have everything to become one.
So he knew. He knew before.
He said it. And he was right twice.
Wow. Do you think maybe it was a little bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy? Or do you think he saw something?
I think he saw.
What did he see?
I didn't start from a blank page. I had already few stuff, and I just built on the basic I had.
Mm-hmm. But what did he see in you that he didn't see in everyone else he trains?
I had the determination.
Yeah.
I sacrificed everything for the training and my life for training. I gave it all. Every session I had, I just give it all. I was totally into it.
And he saw that?
He saw it, yeah, I guess, as everyone saw it.
So how much of a role does natural talent play? I mean, are you naturally gifted with good genetics, or how important is that?
I believe I'm strong. I got my dad genetics, I think, but it's not enough to be strong. And I don't think I'm talented in a different way than others, but I was really commit and sacrifice everything. And actually, I'm a hard worker. Mm-hmm. I think this is the question. And also, I believe that hard work beats talent. Because talent is not enough. You still need to work very hard. If you got talent and you're a hard worker, this is really dangerous. Watch out.
Wow. I totally believe that. I have the same policy. And, friends have often asked me how I do this or how I do that, in my past. And the answer is, I'm not brighter than anyone else. I just work a lot harder, or at least I used to.
Exactly. This is the secret.
It is. So along the way, I'm sure that there were some very rough times and a lot of failures, setbacks, and injuries. Tell us about some of those that kind of jump out in your memory.
When I started, I had to move from Israel to Holland. I didn't have a passport. I had some saving. I had my car. And I had to sell everything and to open my saving to move to Holland and be in Holland and just to train with no sponsors. Because I didn't have any passport, I couldn't work over there. And when you start your career, you don't get money for your fight till the B. And B class, it's again, you are maybe semi-fighter. So you get really funny amount of money to fight. So you need to struggle with the money issues, how to eat, how you pay for your training, how to give rent, and don't forget there's all the supplements and special food to eat, and everything is expensive, and clothes and boxing gears. I had to do funny jobs that I will be able to go to the supermarket and buy some nice food to eat after training. So I was hiring clothes for people. Don't forget, the Dutch, they are really big. So all the clothes, they are extra large. And I need to mention that I'm not a housewife, a housekeeper, and I have no clue about that. I barely know how to do dishes, and I know how to teach now, and I know how to fight, but I'm not
domestic.
Yeah. So anyway, and I clean houses. And this is hard work because it's physics. And think about, you need to train morning, physically clean a few houses a day, and then go again to train. And training, it's not easy. In training, you give everything.
What did a typical day look like for you?
Back then, wake up, coffee, fast muesli or something like that. Go to the gym, train for 2 hours, go back, clean a house, maybe another house, go back to the house, eat lunch, sleep 2 hours, go back to the gym, train again, like between 3 hours or 4 hours, go back, and supplements, food, clean, train, supplement. That's it, more or less.
What kind of supplements are really important for a fighter?
I used protein shakes and amino, BCAA, all the supplements that I wasn't sure I can get them from food. Or I eat enough food. And recently, for the my last couple of fights, I use magnesium.
Yeah.
I find out that make it more easier for the body to cope with training afterwards.
Yeah. Magnesium is one of those supplements that helps everything from sleep to hormone production. And actually, it's estimated that 60 to 70% of people are deficient in magnesium. So I can imagine it's really important to have proper magnesium.
If you saw my Facebook and my last fight, I was, God praise magnesium.
Really?
Like every morning and evening, I was like, yeah, magnesium.
Yeah, I take it every night before bed, and it's super helpful. So I want to get into a little bit more about the mindset of a fighter. You said, this fighter's heart, which I really love. Boxing is a very individual sport. You don't have a team, so to speak. It's everything on your shoulders. How do you manage that? I mean, how do you stay sane when there's so much pressure on just you and you don't have a team to support you?
Actually, it's maybe in the ring I'm by myself, but this is only 60% from the fight and the winning. At the ring, you are not alone. You got your corner. Your corner, it's your trainers, it's your gym, it's your team, and it's your group. So basically, you are not alone. And without your trainers, you won't be able to do any fights. You are nothing without the trainers.
Wow.
You can develop, you can learn. Even in the ring, again, you don't stand there by yourself. If you're a beginner, you forget maybe to listen to your corner. But when you get a pro, you won't make it without your coaches and your corner.
Wow. So I guess it's very underestimated the importance of the support system and having those people around you. I want to ask about another question which relates to support. You hail from Israel, and it's a country known for its conflict. And, there are a lot of sports where other countries don't necessarily want to compete with Israeli athletes. Have you found that in boxing, or have you found that really the sport helps you make unlikely friends and unite with people who you might never get to interact with otherwise?
I compete World Championship, European Championship. I compete all over the world. And for me, sport is sport. It's not politics. It's only about sport. And it's about meeting different people from different nationalities and to share the same passion and the same love. And it's all about who is better in that specific sport. It's not about nothing else. And also I would like to add that in Enfusion Amsterdam, there's even Hippolyte. He is the big trainer and he is a big name. And I work with him and with one more trainer. His name is Munzef Binur. And he is half Tunisian, half Suriname. And he had the same dream back then to be world champion in karate. So he went to Japan, and actually he did the same in Japan like I did in Holland. And he used to train me for a long time. And he used to help me every time I came along to Amsterdam to train at Enfusion Amsterdam. He used to take me every single day, morning, evening on the pads, and help me as much as he can. I think it's because we share the same passion and the same love, and he was into help me because it's only about the sport and the passion we share. And I remember in 2012, I had a big fight, World Championship in Holland. So I came with a flight to the train station, and Munzef Binur came to pick me up. And he says, hey, you know what? I bring you from the airport and I take you back to the airport with the belt. And remember it, because I'm gonna help you to get that belt and you gonna take it with you to Israel. And in a way, he's not into Israel. But first, he is my friend. No. Second, he is my friend. First, he is my trainer. Second, he is my friend. So it's not about where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
It's much more than that.
That's amazing. And it's a beautiful story how, he may not agree with the politics of your country, but he still wanted to make you a champion and make you proud of your country, or make your country proud of you, really. So are you still planning to compete?
I just retired, actually, 3 months ago.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. It's a bit strange, because now I'm only a coach. I'm not a fighter anymore. maybe I'm a retired fighter, maybe it will be easier to pronounce it this way. But yeah, this is the time to develop myself and my skills as a coach and to give away my knowledge as a coach, because I already had everything that I wanted to do as a fighter. So I gave some knockouts. I get one knockout, actually, that was almost before the end of my career.
Really? That was the first time you were ever knocked out?
First time I fell asleep.
Wow. Tell us about that.
This is a really strange feeling, because only after 15 minutes you think you know what happened and still you are not sure and you just don't remember. You step into the ring and then you wake up in the dressing room. You don't really know what happened over there. So it's strange. And more recently, I participated in a reality show by the name Victory of the Vixen.
That's a really hard one to say.
Yeah. and that was an amazing challenge to meet 18 fighters, female fighters from all over the world, the best fighters. And I was one of the 18 fighters.
Wow.
In my age. I'm almost 36 and it's quite old. But I won my first championship on the age 30. So it's a little bit old too. So to do Enfusion now, and this is the end of my career, it's not the start of my career. So I knew I'm gonna make it till the second tournament. But yeah, I got a knockout by the champion on the first tournament.
Wow.
So this is a big thing, but I still make it. And afterwards, I still compete in the Enfusion organization. This is now it's one of the biggest events and names to be fighting. And my last fight was 2 months ago, again, against one of the girls that compete also in the Enfusion reality show. And I win from her. That was a good fight. And I'm happy I had one more last chance to fight before I retired after my knockout.
Mm-hmm. You feel you ended on a good note.
Yeah. And it's like gambling. You need to know when to go out from the table, because sometimes when you get a knockout, it's not a good ending and you can't fight afterwards.
Right. So you were very lucky. You didn't have any brain damage or anything like that.
No, actually, in the show, they ask who wants to fight again. So I raised my hand. I wanted to fight again. And the host said to me, hey, you got a knockout. I don't think it's good for you to fight again. I said, okay. So I had no choice. But I was really happy to get another chance to fight before I end my career.
Amazing. Adi, who are some people whose work has inspired you, or who are some of your role models?
Okay, my role model is Lucia Riker. She came out from Fostum, Amsterdam. In the 80s, 90s, there wasn't any girls to fight, so she was the pioneer, and she had to fight only guys, almost only guys. And because she was the first one, I have a lot of respect for that. Afterwards, she became a world champion in Muay Thai, and then she became world champion in boxing because she went to the USA and she became a big and famous boxer.
Wow.
So she is amazing.
Trailblazer. Kind of open the doors for women boxers like yourself.
Exactly.
Amazing. What about your favorite book of all time? I know boxers probably don't get a reputation for being avid readers, but I'm sure you'll prove us wrong.
Actually, I have 2 books I used to love and read when I was a kid. And one of them is The Stranger of Albert Camus. And the second one is The Perfume from Patrick Zisskind. Yeah, I know they are not really easy books, but I think they really affect me in a way.
Awesome. Adi, what's next? What are you working on now?
At the moment, I develop kickboxing in Israel, and not only for female. In my group, it's a mixed groups between female and males together. And I try to show people that it can be a way of life. You don't necessarily to be a fighter if you want to come train. Just do it for yourself. Just enjoy it. Enjoy the hard work. Enjoy to sweat with other people. This is nice. It sounds strange, but it's nice. And to take all your energy out and to hit and to get hit. It's like in life. You can't just give. You need to know how to get. And there's so many stuff in the ring that it's similar to what's happening outside the ring. I'm enjoying sharing my passion for kickboxing with my students and the people that want to come and to learn and to become better fighter for themselves. Not even for a championship. Of course, if they want to become a champions or to improve and they want to go to fight in the real ring, of course, the door is always open. Mm-hmm. But I believe kickboxing is giving you, for a person, stuff to cope with that I'm not sure in the real life. The ring is like life. And you challenge yourself every time in training, like in life.
Amazing. So you would say that there are transferable skills that you take away from the discipline of boxing and you apply to your life, like the hard working, like the fighter's heart, as you called it.
Yes, definitely. When I started, it's one sentence that I want to pass to other. And I started my way with this sentence. And I think it's better to try and fail like I did than just say, yeah, I could, or I could be, I could do. Just if you believe in something, and I believe in myself when other didn't. Mm-hmm. And I just did it. Because I say, maximum I fail, but I know I try. Mm-hmm. And this is something that I want to pass because it's very important. If you believe in yourself, you can do it. So just do it.
Just do it. Adi, where can people get in touch with you, learn more about what you're doing, and maybe take a class with you?
You can find me on my website, www.adikickboxing.com, or on Facebook, or I'm working with CrossFit Tel Aviv, so I'm there at their site also, or just mail me.
Awesome. And we'll make sure to put links to all of that in the show notes. Adi, it's been such a pleasure talking with you today, and I really appreciate your time. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
So that's it for this week's episode. I hope you guys thoroughly enjoyed it. If so, please take a moment to leave a review on iTunes and to share it with your friends and family. You know, another thing is that we're always looking for guest posts and guests on the blog and on the podcast. So if you know somebody or are somebody who has an interesting superhuman skill to share either on the blog or the podcast, please be in touch with us. Our email is info@becomingasuperhuman.com.
Thanks for tuning in to the Becoming Superhuman podcast. For more great skills and strategies, or for links to any of the resources mentioned in this episode, visit www.becomingasuperhuman.com/podcast. We'll see you next time.